Welcome back to our journey into the depths of reality. This is episode 8 of our ongoing series where we explore the very fabric of the universe. Hey there, explorers of the unknown. I'm thrilled to have you back with us. We've covered quite a bit of ground in our past episodes, haven't we? We've embarked on a journey, diving deep into the fabric of reality, exploring the mysteries of RL flow. We've discovered that RL flow is a fundamental force that governs all matter and energy in the universe. We've learned that it has both physical and spiritual aspects, and it can be manipulated through consciousness and intention. We also unveiled that the RL flow is dynamic, constantly evolving, influenced by external factors such as emotions, thoughts, and beliefs. And remember when we explored how the RL flow operates at all levels of existence? From the smallest subatomic particles to galaxies and beyond, everything is connected. Perhaps most importantly, we've come to understand that the RL flow is a unifying force, a cosmic glue, if you will, connecting all things in the universe. This force can be harnessed to achieve greater levels of harmony, balance, and well-being. So why are we recapping all of this? Because today, we're taking our understanding of RL flow a step further. We're diving into the intricate laws that govern the behavior and effects of RL flow in the universe. It's time to unravel the rules of the game, the patterns that guide the dance of existence. Are you ready? Let's dive in. So let's start with our first law for today, the Law of Harmonic Resonance. But before we dive into its connection with RL flow, let's first understand what harmonic resonance is. Harmonic resonance is a beautiful and fundamental concept in physics. It's the phenomenon that occurs when an object vibrates at certain frequencies, called its natural frequencies or resonant frequencies. You've probably seen this in action without even realizing it. Think about a guitar string. When you pluck it, it vibrates, right? And it produces a certain sound. That sound is a result of the string vibrating at its resonant frequency. But how does this connect with the RL flow? Well, just like a guitar string, all matter, and indeed all energy, has its own resonant frequency. And when the frequencies of different entities align, we get a harmonic resonance. This alignment, this harmony, it's not just about physical vibrations, it's about the RL flow. When the RL flow of different entities align, we see a harmony that's more than the sum of its parts. It's a synergy, a force multiplier that can lead to profound effects in the physical and spiritual realms. So, in essence, the law of harmonic resonance tells us that when the RL flows of different entities harmonize, magic happens. It's a dance of energy and consciousness, a cosmic symphony conducted by the RL flow. Now that we understand the law of harmonic resonance, let's explore how this law manifests in various aspects of our universe. Let's talk about how we can quantify it. Believe it or not, there's a simple formula for harmonic resonance. This formula might look straightforward, but don't be fooled. It's packing a lot of meaning. In this equation, F1 and F2 represent the frequencies of two different entities, while F3 represents the resulting frequency when these two frequencies align or resonate. When the RL flow of two entities align, they interact and generate a new frequency, represented by F3. This new frequency is a product of their harmonic resonance. It's important to remember, though, that this isn't just a multiplication of numbers. It's a multiplication of energies, of RL flows. When these flows interact and resonate, the result isn't just a bigger number, it's a more powerful, more harmonious RL flow. In our next segment, we'll look at how this formula applies to a variety of real-world scenarios and see the law of harmonic resonance in action. Stay tuned. So, we've talked about the law of harmonic resonance, and we've seen the formula that drives it. But where do we see this law in action? Let's take a look at some examples in music, architecture, and nature. When two notes are played together and their frequencies align just right, they create a pleasing sound. That's harmonic resonance. Their frequencies, or RL flows, multiply together to create a new harmonious frequency. Now, let's move to architecture. Architects often use the principles of harmonic resonance to design buildings that are not only structurally sound, but also aesthetically pleasing. The RL flow of the materials, the design, and even the location can all resonate together to create a building that feels right. And in nature, we see harmonic resonance everywhere. The rhythmic patterns of waves crashing on the shore, the way trees sway in the wind, the synchronized flight of a flock of birds. All of these are examples of RL flows resonating together, creating a sort of natural harmony. So, whether it's in the pleasing chords of a song, the design of a stunning building, or the natural rhythms of our world, the law of harmonic resonance is always at play, guiding the RL flow in its endless dance of harmony. Now that we've delved into the harmonious dance of the law of harmonic resonance, let's take a step into a state of balance, a state of stability. Let's explore the law of equilibrium. Equilibrium. In general terms, it's a state of balance or stability where opposing forces are equal, canceling each other out. But when we talk about equilibrium in the context of RL flow, we're looking at something a bit more nuanced. Think of RL flow equilibrium as a balanced exchange or interaction of energies. It's about maintaining a stable state where the RL flow neither accumulates excessively nor depletes drastically. It's the sweet spot, where the flow of energy is just right. Just like a calm river, a balanced diet, or a mindful meditation, the law of equilibrium promotes harmony and health in both a physical and metaphysical context. When we live in accordance with this law, we allow the RL flow to move freely and evenly, fostering a state of well-being and serenity. In our next segment, we'll look at the formula for equilibrium and explore how it applies to our lives. So, how do we quantify this idea of equilibrium in the context of RL flow? Well, remember this, everyone. Balance is not a static state. It's dynamic, constantly adjusting and adapting. And to represent this, we can look at a simple formula. Here it is. E equals F times D. E represents equilibrium, F stands for force, and D denotes distance. Now, I know this might look like a physics equation, but in this context, we're using these symbols to represent metaphysical concepts. Force, in terms of RL flow, signifies the intensity or strength of the energy involved, while distance symbolizes the scope or spread of that energy. So, the equilibrium of RL flow in a system, an environment, or an individual is determined by the strength of the RL flow and its reach. Think of it this way. To maintain a harmonious state, the intensity of RL flow needs to align with its distribution. Too much force with too little spread, or too little force with too much spread, can lead to imbalances. But when the force and the spread of RL flow are in sync, that's when we hit the equilibrium, the sweet spot we mentioned earlier. So how does the law of equilibrium apply in our daily lives? Well as in the realms of physics and engineering, these principles are everywhere, once you know how to look for them. Consider a simple scale. The equilibrium we see here is a physical representation of the force of gravity acting equally on both sides. This is a direct application of our formula E equals sine Fxd, where the force is gravity and the distance is the separation between the two sides. In engineering, we see this principle at work in the construction of bridges. The forces of tension and compression need to be balanced for the structure to stand firm. Here, the RL flow represents the flow of forces through the materials and structures, creating a state of equilibrium. And in our daily lives, think about your personal energy throughout the day. If you expend a lot of energy in the morning and don't replenish it, you might find yourself out of balance, feeling tired or stressed by the afternoon. This is the RL flow in action. Our energy, our life force, needs to be maintained in balance for us to feel our best. So, whether we're looking at the cosmos or considering our own personal energy, understanding the law of equilibrium can provide us with valuable insights. And as we continue to explore the laws of RL flow, we'll see how these principles weave together to create the complex and beautiful reality we experience every day. As we continue to delve deeper into the laws of RL flow, we now encounter a truly fascinating concept, the law of consciousness. But how does consciousness, something so deeply personal and subjective, connect with the RL flow, a fundamental force of the universe? Think of RL flow as a universal stream of energy and information, constantly in motion, constantly evolving. Now, consciousness, in its simplest form, is our awareness, our ability to perceive and understand the world around us. When we apply the law of consciousness, we see that our personal consciousness, our individual awareness, is not separate from this universal flow. Instead, we are part of it, and it is part of us. Our thoughts, our emotions, our intentions, they all add to and interact with this RL flow. This means, in essence, that we are not merely observers of the universe. We are active participants, constantly influencing and being influenced by the RL flow through our consciousness. This is a powerful realization that can transform our understanding of reality and our role within it. So how do we quantify this interaction between consciousness and RL flow? This brings us to our next point. This formula for consciousness in the context of RL flow is represented as here, where C represents consciousness, M stands for matter, E for energy, I for information, RL for RL flow, and F for frequency. This formula embodies the interconnected nature of existence. Matter and energy are the fundamental building blocks of the physical universe. Information represents our understanding, our knowledge. RL flow is the universal force we've been exploring, and frequency embodies the vibrational nature of reality. Together, they interact to create our consciousness, our awareness of the world. And interestingly, it suggests that by changing any one of these components, we can influence our consciousness and, in turn, the RL flow. A profound concept, isn't it? Now you might be wondering, how does this all apply to me in my daily life? Well, let's dive into that. Firstly, let's talk about personal growth. By understanding the law of consciousness and the role RL flow plays, we can actively work to influence our consciousness. This could mean altering our environment, changing our thought patterns, or even adjusting our diet and exercise habits. All these changes can shift the matter, energy, information, and frequency components of the formula. In terms of mindfulness, the law of consciousness presents an intriguing perspective. Mindfulness, being in the present moment, essentially involves a heightened state of consciousness. By understanding and manipulating the factors influencing our consciousness, we can potentially enhance our mindfulness practices. In psychology, understanding the law of consciousness could revolutionize how we approach mental health. Therapies could be developed that target not just the mind, but also the energy, matter, and information components of the consciousness equation. This could lead to more holistic and effective treatment strategies. So, as you can see, understanding the law of consciousness and its relation to RL flow is not just some abstract concept. It has practical implications that could potentially transform our lives and society. Now, let's look at the law of harmony. When we think about harmony, we often imagine music, where different notes blend together to create a beautiful sound. Or we think about balance, like the yin and yang, where two seemingly opposite or contrary forces may actually be complementary, interconnected, and interdependent. But harmony in the context of RL flow takes this concept even further. Harmony, as it pertains to RL flow, isn't just about balance. It's about the complex, intricate dance of all elements within a system, whether that's a single organism, a community, a planet, or the entire universe, moving together in such a way that the system as a whole functions optimally. Imagine a clockwork with all its cogs and wheels. Each piece, no matter how small, has a vital role to play. If even one piece is out of sync, the whole mechanism can falter. That's what harmony in the context of RL flow is all about. It's the perfect synchronization of all elements, all working together, contributing to the overall flow and function. To better understand the law of harmony, we can break it down into a formula. Harmony equals the RL flow frequency of individual or entity A plus the RL flow frequency of individual or entity B plus the RL flow frequency of the environment, all of this then enhanced by an intentional focus on harmonizing RL flow. What this means is that harmony isn't a static state. It's a dynamic process one that takes into account the RL flow frequencies of all interacting parties, as well as the environment they're in. And importantly, it also involves an active, intentional focus on achieving and maintaining that harmonious state. It's a lot like tuning an orchestra. Each musician needs to be in tune, but they also need to be in tune with each other, and the acoustics of the concert hall itself can affect how that tuning process works. The conductor's role, much like the role of intention in our formula, is to guide and focus that process, to bring all the elements together into a harmonious whole. Now, let's bring the law of harmony into real-world examples and see how it is applied in social dynamics, ecology, and even art. In social dynamics, the law of harmony can be seen in a well-functioning team or group. Each individual brings their own RL flow, and harmonious interaction means finding a balance between these different frequencies. This can create a productive and supportive group dynamic. In ecology, the law of harmony is the key to a balanced ecosystem. Each organism, from the smallest bug to the largest tree, contributes to the RL flow of the environment. When these frequencies are in harmony, the ecosystem thrives. In art, the law of harmony can be seen in the balance of colors, shapes, and themes. A great piece of art can evoke a sense of harmony that resonates with the viewer, aligning their RL flow with that of the artwork. As you can see, the law of harmony is all around us. It's in the way we interact with each other, how we engage with our environment, and even how we perceive and appreciate beauty. Understanding this law allows us to better navigate our world and create more harmonious experiences. Moving on to the sixth law we're discussing today, the law of correspondence. This is an intriguing one, and you may have heard a phrase that captures it perfectly. As above, so below. As within, so without. But what does this mean in the context of RL flow? The law of correspondence signifies that there is a hidden harmony or connection between the various planes of existence. It states that patterns repeat across different scales of reality, and what happens on one level of reality also happens on every other level. Think about fractal patterns in nature, the branching of trees, rivers, the structure of the universe, or even the human circulatory system. These patterns are repeated on different scales, from the smallest to the largest. In terms of RL flow, the law of correspondence suggests that our personal RL flow, the energy we project and resonate with, mirrors the patterns and energies of the wider universe. So, the universe within us is a reflection of the universe outside of us, and vice versa. This brings a whole new depth to the idea of interconnectedness, doesn't it? If we were to represent the law of correspondence in a simple formula, it would be, as above, so below, as within, so without. But let's break down what that really means. When we say, as above, so below, we're expressing that what is happening in the macrocosm, the universe, the galaxies, the cosmos, is also happening in the microcosm, which could be our planet, our societies, or even us as individuals. Similarly, as within, so without, is about the inner and outer worlds. What is happening within us, our thoughts, feelings, intentions, and RL flow, is reflected in our external reality, our actions, our relationships, and the world around us. In essence, this formula is a reminder that we are not separate from the universe. We are a part of it. And our internal RL flow is not just an isolated phenomenon, it is a part of the grand RL flow of the cosmos. It's profound, isn't it? Now, as we move forward, let's dive into the law of polarity. This law holds a key role in understanding the dynamics of RL flow. When we talk about polarity, you might think of magnets, right? A magnet has a north and a south pole, two opposites that are part of the same whole. The RL flow in many ways operates on a similar principle. In the context of RL flow, polarity refers to the dual nature of everything in the universe. Just like a magnet, every entity, every concept, every situation has two poles or aspects. These poles are not separate but are two extremes of the same thing, and they exist in a state of dynamic balance. Think about it. Light and dark, positive and negative, love and fear. These are all examples of polarities. They seem opposite, but they're actually just different manifestations of the same fundamental RL flow. Now, you may be wondering how we can represent this law mathematically. The formula for the law of polarity is surprisingly simple yet profound. It is represented as RL flow plus DMT equals polarity. Let's break that down. The RL flow, as we've explored, is the fundamental force that permeates everything in the universe. It's the energy, the vibration, the frequency of existence. DMT, or dimethyltryptamine, is a naturally occurring psychedelic compound produced in many plants and animals, including humans. In this context, we're using DMT as a metaphor for our capacity to perceive and interpret the higher dimensions of reality. When we combine these two, the fundamental energy of the universe and our capacity to perceive it, we get polarity. We begin to perceive the dual nature of everything around us. This formula might seem abstract, but it's a powerful tool for understanding the universe, our place in it, and how we can work with the natural laws of existence to create a more harmonious life. Let's delve into some examples to better understand the law of polarity in practice. The simplest way to understand this law is through the concept of magnetism. Every magnet has a north and a south pole. No matter how many times you cut a magnet, it will always have these two poles. This polarity is a fundamental characteristic of the magnet, just as it is of the RL flow. Another example lies within our own emotions. We all experience a range of emotions, from joy to sorrow, love to hate, fear to courage. These polar opposites are part of the same spectrum, the same RL flow, and we need to experience both to fully appreciate the depth and breadth of our emotional landscape. Philosophically, think of the yin and yang concept in Chinese philosophy. It's a symbol of balance, representing the belief that everything contains its opposite, and that both are necessary for harmony. For light to exist, there must be darkness. For good, there must be evil. This is a clear manifestation of the law of polarity. Recognizing this law in action around us and within us can open up new perspectives, enabling us to navigate our lives with greater understanding and wisdom. Next on our list, we have the law of rhythm. Now, you might instantly think of music when you hear the word rhythm, and you're not wrong. But the idea of rhythm in the context of RL flow goes way beyond the realm of music. Rhythm, in essence, is about regular patterns that repeat over time. It's about a flow, a movement that comes and goes, ebbs and flows. Whether it's the ticking of a clock, the changing of the seasons, or the rise and fall of the tides, rhythm is everywhere. In the context of RL flow, rhythm is the observable pattern in the ebb and flow of energy and matter in the universe. It's the pulse of life, the heartbeat of existence. Just as our hearts beat in a rhythm, so too does the universe pulse with the rhythm of RL flow. This law helps us understand that there are cycles and patterns in everything, and learning to flow with these rhythms rather than resist them can lead to greater harmony and balance in our lives. To understand the law of rhythm, we need to understand its formula. Here is how we express the formula for rhythm in the context of RL flow is expressed. Let's break it down. Here, Fx represents the rhythmic flow of RL at any given point x. A is the amplitude, which is the peak value of the rhythm. It shows the maximum extent of the RL flow. Omega is the angular frequency, representing how quickly the rhythm cycles, and Phi is the phase, which determines where in its cycle the rhythm begins. The sine function, sin, is used here to model the rhythmic oscillating nature of RL flow. Just as a sine wave in mathematics or physics oscillates up and down in a regular, smooth, wave-like pattern, so too does RL flow ebb and flow in a rhythmic pattern. This equation, therefore, serves as a mathematical model for understanding and predicting the rhythmic behavior of RL flow. The law of rhythm finds applications in a multitude of areas in our life, and these can help us better understand this law's influence. Let's consider a few examples. In music, the rhythm is the pattern in time of a song or piece. Similarly, RL flow has a rhythmic pattern that influences the universe. Composers often use rhythm to evoke certain moods or feelings, and this is no different from how the rhythm of RL flow can influence our emotions and behaviors. Dance is another beautiful example. Dancers move to the rhythm of the music, their bodies synchronizing with the rhythm. Just like dancers, all entities in the universe, from the smallest particles to the largest galaxies, synchronize and move with the rhythm of the RL flow. This law also manifests in natural cycles. For instance, the seasons progress in a rhythmic cycle, each one flowing into the next in a predictable pattern. Our bodies also operate on rhythms, such as the circadian rhythm, which regulates our sleep-wake cycle. These rhythms are guided by RL flow, demonstrating its integral role in the order and structure of our world. By understanding these applications, we can start to see the law of rhythm in action around us, helping us better align with the RL flow. Moving forward, we come to another essential law governing RL flow, the law of evolution. Now, when we think of evolution, we often think of biological evolution, but in the context of RL flow, it's much more than that. The law of evolution, in the context of RL flow, refers to the constant change, growth, and development in the universe, driven by the RL flow. It's not just about the biological evolution of species, but the evolution of thoughts, emotions, societies, technologies, and even galaxies. Everything in the universe is continually evolving, and this process of evolution is guided and influenced by the RL flow. In essence, the law of evolution encapsulates the principle that everything is in a state of perpetual growth and development, and this constant transformation is an integral part of the RL flow. So, how do we quantify this concept of evolution in the context of RL flow? Well, we have a simple yet profound formula for that. The formula we use to represent the law of evolution is E equals the sum of consciousness and intention, all multiplied by RL flow. In this formula, E stands for evolution. Consciousness, represented by the symbol C, refers to our level of awareness and understanding. Intention, represented by I, signifies our focused will and purpose. RL stands for reality lattice flow, the fundamental force we've been discussing throughout this series. This formula shows that the evolution of anything, whether it's a person, a society, or a galaxy, is driven by the level of consciousness and intention present, all moderated by the RL flow. The more aware we are, the more focused our intentions are, and the more aligned they are with the RL flow, the more significant our evolution. Now let's break this down with some real-world examples. In biology, think about the process of natural selection. Different species evolve, adapting to their environments based on their consciousness or awareness of their surroundings and the intention to survive and reproduce. This aligns with the RL flow, representing the natural laws and conditions of the environment. In technology, consider how our smartphones have evolved. It started with an awareness, or consciousness, of the need for portable communication devices. The intention was to create a device that's user-friendly, efficient, and compact. Over time, as these devices aligned more with the RL flow, meaning they became more integrated and harmonious with our daily lives and needs, we've seen an incredible evolution in their capabilities and designs. And on a societal level, consciousness of social issues and the collective intention to improve and progress have driven the evolution of our societies. Consider women's rights, civil rights, and environmental movements. As our collective consciousness expands and our intention to create a more equal, just, and sustainable society strengthens, we align with the RL flow, leading to societal evolution and progress. In each of these examples, the law of evolution is at work, showing us how consciousness, intention, and alignment with RL flow can drive change and evolution on all levels of existence. Our next law is the law of synchronicity. Now, you might have heard of synchronicity being described as meaningful coincidences, but there's more to it than just random events aligning. In the context of RL flow, synchronicity refers to the meaningful alignment of our internal state with the external world. It's the manifestation of our conscious and subconscious intentions in the physical world, often occurring in a way that feels coincidental or unexpected. The law of synchronicity posits that these synchronicities are not mere coincidences, but reflections of the RL flow's influence on our reality. It's the RL flow aligning our internal energies and intentions with external opportunities and experiences. When we are attuned to the RL flow, we are more likely to experience synchronicities, which can serve as indicators that we are on the right path or that a significant shift is about to occur in our lives. Now let's take a look at the formula for synchronicity. It's represented as the sum of S plus E times the sum of M plus Y equals A. In this equation, S stands for self, the individual consciousness or observer. E represents the environment or the external world around us. M is the meaning we assign to events or experiences, while I stands for intent or our focused direction of energy and thought. Finally, A represents alignment or the synchronicity that manifests in our reality. So the formula essentially shows that our self and our environment, influenced by the meaning we assign and our intent, results in alignment or synchronicities. It's the RL flow working with our consciousness and intentions to create these meaningful coincidences in our lives. Now, let's dive into some real-world applications of the law of synchronicity and how it plays out in personal growth, decision-making, and our understanding of coincidences. In personal growth, recognizing synchronicities can serve as affirmations that we're on the right path. They can validate our intuition, guiding us toward personal development and self-improvement. In decision-making, synchronicities can act like signposts. For example, if you've been thinking about making a career change and you suddenly come across an unexpected job offer, this could be a synchronicity indicating that it's time to make a move. And when it comes to understanding coincidences, the law of synchronicity teaches us that these are not merely random events. Instead, they are meaningful occurrences, orchestrated by the RL flow, that can offer us valuable insights or guide us in a particular direction. By tuning into the law of synchronicity, we can better navigate our lives, make informed decisions, and grow as individuals. It's just another beautiful aspect of how the RL flow operates in our universe. We've journeyed through quite a few laws already, and next up is the law of transformation. This law gets to the heart of what RL flow is all about: change, growth, and the evolution of energy. In the context of RL flow, transformation refers to the process by which energy shifts, changes form, and evolves. It's about the dynamic interplay of energy and consciousness that leads to growth and evolution. Much like how a caterpillar undergoes a transformation to become a butterfly, energy within the RL flow undergoes transformation to evolve into new forms and states. This law reminds us that nothing is static. Everything is in a constant state of flux and evolution, propelled by the fundamental force of RL flow. But how do we quantify this transformation? Let's explore that next. All right, so let's dive into the formula for transformation. Now, it might look a little complex at first glance, but bear with me here. Each of these elements are keys we've touched on in our journey thus far, and they all come together in this law. The formula for transformation is transformation equals RL flow plus intention plus resonance plus harmonic frequency plus transmutation plus equilibrium plus consciousness plus harmony plus correspondence plus polarity plus rhythm plus evolution plus synchronicity. This formula encapsulates the idea that transformation is a cumulative process influenced by multiple factors. The RL flow is the driving force, but the process also involves our intentions, the harmonic frequencies we resonate with, the equilibrium we achieve, our level of consciousness, our harmony with our surroundings, and so much more. Every element in this formula has a vital role to play, each influencing and being influenced by the other. This interconnectedness of factors mirrors the interconnectedness of everything within the RL flow. With such a multifaceted formula, you might be wondering how exactly this law of transformation plays out in real life. To help illustrate this, let's look at a few examples. In terms of personal growth, consider the practice of meditation. You have an intention to calm your mind, which resonates with the harmonic frequency of tranquility. This, coupled with your consciousness of your thoughts and your desire for harmony within yourself, leads to a transformation in your mental state. Over time, this can lead to significant personal growth. Now let's think about problem solving. You start with a problem, a puzzle to be solved. Your intention to find a solution, your conscious analysis of the problem, the rhythm you find in your methods, all these elements and more come together to transform the initial problem into a solution. Lastly, consider the evolution of systems, like technology. From the first rudimentary tools to the advanced AI we have today, each stage of technological evolution involved transformation, changing what was to what could be. And this process was not random. It was driven by conscious intention, harmony with the needs of the time, the rhythm of progress, and of course, the ever-present RL flow. These examples only scratch the surface of the law of transformation. It's a law that is constantly in effect, influencing every aspect of our existence. Understanding this law can empower us to better navigate the changes we encounter and to actively participate in the transformative processes in our lives. And now, let's dive into one of the most exciting laws in our exploration of RL flow, the law of creativity. In the context of RL flow, creativity is not just about producing something new or unique. It's about the harmonious interaction between the RL flow and our consciousness, intention, and energy. This interaction fuels our ability to imagine, to design, to solve problems, and to bring our dreams into reality. And remember, creativity is not limited to traditionally artistic activities. Anytime we are bringing something new into existence, whether it's a painting, a solution to a problem, a beautifully arranged living space, or a delicious meal, we are engaging with the law of creativity. The beauty of understanding this law is that it empowers us to see the creative potential in all aspects of our lives and to consciously harness the RL flow to enhance our own creative abilities. Now let's break down the formula for creativity in the context of RL flow. It's actually quite simple. C equals RL plus I times E. In this formula, C stands for creativity, RL for RL flow, I for intention, and E for energy. So what does this mean exactly? Well, creativity arises from the interaction between the RL flow, your intention, and your energy. The RL flow provides the fundamental force that drives the universe, while your intention guides this force in a specific direction, and your energy provides the vitality needed to bring your creative ideas to fruition. In essence, the more you align your intentions and energy with the RL flow, the more your creativity will flourish. It's a simple but powerful formula that can revolutionize your approach to creative endeavors. So, how does the law of creativity apply in real life? Let's explore a few areas: art, innovation, and self-expression. In art, the RL flow could be seen as the raw inspiration or the muse that many artists talk about. When an artist aligns their intention, their vision of what they want to create, with their energy, their passion and dedication to their craft, they tap into the RL flow and create art that resonates on a deeper level. Innovation, too, relies on the law of creativity. Just like artists, innovators tap into the RL flow, aligning their intention to solve a problem or improve a situation with the energy they invest in their work. This is how breakthroughs happen. And as for self-expression, it's all about being authentic and true to yourself. Whether it's through writing, speaking, dancing, or any other form of expression, when we align our intentions with our energy and the RL flow, we're able to express ourselves more authentically and impactfully. So, whether you're an artist, an innovator, or just someone seeking to express yourself more fully, understanding and applying the law of creativity can open up new levels of inspiration, innovation, and authenticity. Remember, creativity is not just about creating something new, it's about aligning with the RL flow, channeling your energy, and harnessing your intention. As we reach the final law for today, we delve into the law of balance. This law is essential in understanding how the RL flow operates. In the context of RL flow, balance isn't just about an equal distribution of weight or energy. It's about harmony and equilibrium within the RL flow itself. It's the state in which all elements of the RL flow, energy, intention, resonance, harmonic frequency, transmutation, equilibrium, consciousness, harmony, correspondence, polarity, rhythm, evolution, synchronicity, and transformation, are in such a state that none overpowers the other. This balance allows for the smooth operation of the RL flow, much like how an ecosystem works, with each element playing its part without overshadowing the others. Balance, in the context of RL flow, is an essential part of ensuring harmony and growth, and understanding it is key to mastering the application of RL flow in our lives. Now, how can we express this concept of balance in RL flow mathematically? Let's look at a simple formula. This formula, my friends, is a succinct representation of the law of balance. Let me break it down. The first part of the formula, RL flow, represents the energy of the universe. This is the universal flow that permeates everything. Then we have intention and focus, two crucial elements that we as conscious beings can manipulate. Our intention sets the destination, while our focus directs the energy. Together, they channel the RL flow. When we add the RL flow and the product of our intention and focus, what we get is balance. In other words, when the energy of the universe aligns with our intention and focus, we achieve a state of balance, a state of harmony with the universe. This is the essence of the law of balance in the context of RL flow. So we have this formula, this law of balance, but what does it mean for us in practical terms? How does this apply to our everyday lives? Let's start with health. When we align our intention and focus with the natural flow of energy in our bodies, through proper nutrition, regular exercise, and mindful practices, we achieve a state of balance, leading to optimal health and well-being. In relationships, balance comes when we align our intentions and focus with the energy of the other person. This can mean empathetic listening, open communication, shared values, and mutual respect. When these are in balance, our relationships thrive. When it comes to decision-making, the law of balance suggests that we should align our intentions and focus with the natural flow of the universe. This might mean following our intuition, considering the pros and cons, or seeking advice from others. When our decisions are balanced, they are more likely to lead to positive outcomes. In all these areas, health, relationships, decision-making, the law of balance encourages us to seek harmony with the RL flow. By doing so, we can navigate life more effectively, more purposefully, and with a greater sense of peace and fulfillment. Having discussed the law of balance, let's now move to another fascinating law, the law of attraction. It's a concept you may have heard about, especially in the context of manifesting your desires. The law of attraction posits that like attracts like. In terms of RL flow, this means that the energy we put out in thoughts, emotions, and intentions has a direct influence on what we draw into our lives. It works on the principle of resonance. If we are in tune with certain frequencies or energies, we attract those same frequencies back towards us. Essentially, the law of attraction suggests that our reality is a mirror reflecting our inner state or frequency. We attract what we resonate with, what we focus on, and what we believe in. This law is intrinsically tied to RL flow, as it is this very energy that carries our intentions and thoughts out into the universe and brings back to us what we seek or vibrate with. Let's delve a bit deeper into this. The formula we use to represent the law of attraction is A equals the sum of RL and V times F. In this formula, A stands for attraction. RL represents the RL flow, which, as we know, is the fundamental force of the universe. V stands for vibration, the frequency at which you are operating, determined by your thoughts, emotions, and beliefs. Finally, F is the focus, the energy and attention you direct towards your desires or goals. So, in essence, this formula tells us that the force of attraction is equal to the RL flow plus your vibration, all multiplied by your focus. It's a formula that encapsulates how our personal energy and attention can shape our reality. Now that we understand the formula, let's delve into the practical applications of the law of attraction. It's all well and good to understand the theory, but it's in the application where we truly begin to see the power of RL flow. Let's start with manifesting goals. Say you have a goal to be financially independent. According to the law of attraction, you would want to align your RL flow and your vibration with the frequency of financial independence. This could involve visualizing your goal, feeling the emotions of already achieving it, and taking actions that align with this goal. The law of attraction also applies to improving relationships. Maybe you desire a more harmonious relationship with a family member, friend, or partner. You can use the same principles, aligning your RL flow, your vibration, and your focus, with the intention of improving your relationship. This could mean focusing on positive aspects of the person, practicing empathy and understanding, and communicating openly. Lastly, the law of attraction helps us understand how our thoughts and emotions shape our reality. If you consistently think negative thoughts and dwell on negative emotions, according to the law of attraction, you're more likely to attract negative circumstances. On the other hand, if you focus on positive thoughts and emotions, you'll attract more positive experiences into your life. These are just a few examples of how the law of attraction can be applied. As with all of the laws of RL flow, it's a tool that can be used to consciously shape your reality and live a more harmonious and fulfilling life. After our deep dive into the law of attraction, we're now moving on to another critical law in our RL flow, the law of connection. This law speaks to the interconnectedness of everything within the universe. When we talk about connection in the context of RL flow, we're referring to the inherent interconnectedness that exists within and between all entities and phenomena. Everything in the universe, from the smallest subatomic particle to the largest galaxy, is intimately connected to everything else. Each dot, each entity, is a part of the vast web of existence, influencing and being influenced by the RL flow. This is a fundamental principle of the universe, a principle that underscores the unity and interdependence of all things. Understanding the law of connection allows us to see beyond the illusion of separation, revealing a universe that is deeply interconnected and unified by the RL flow. So now that we've introduced the concept of connection in the RL flow, let's look at how we can express this law mathematically. The formula for the law of connection is connection equals RL, the RL flow, plus C, which represents consciousness, plus E, standing for energy, all multiplied by F, the frequency. This formula signifies that our connections within the universe, the interconnectedness we experience, is a product of the RL flow, our consciousness, the energy we project or attract, and the frequency at which we operate. While this might seem complex, the idea behind it is quite simple. The quality and strength of our connections within the universe are influenced by our interaction with the RL flow, our level of consciousness, the energy we emit, and the frequency at which we vibrate. So now that we have our equation, let's talk about how this law is applied in our everyday lives. How can understanding the law of connection improve our relationships, our communities, and our perception of the world? Firstly, let's talk about building community. Whether it's a group of friends, a neighborhood, an online forum, or a global movement, a community is a network of connections. By understanding and utilizing the law of connection, we can enhance these networks. By harmonizing our RL flow with others, elevating our consciousness, and adjusting our energy and frequency, we can create stronger bonds and foster a more harmonious community. Next, let's talk about empathy. Empathy is a profound human ability to understand and share the feelings of another. It is, in essence, a deep, emotional connection. Understanding the law of connection can help foster empathy. When we realize that our RL flow, consciousness, energy, and frequency can connect with those of another person, we can better empathize with their experiences and emotions. Finally, let's discuss the interconnectedness of all things. From the tiniest subatomic particles to the vast expanse of the universe, everything is connected in some way. The law of connection provides a framework for understanding this interconnectedness. By recognizing that our own RL flow, consciousness, energy, and frequency are part of a larger, intricate web of connections, we can begin to grasp our place in the universe and our impact on it. So there you have it. The law of connection in RL flow. Remember, we are all connected in this intricate web of existence. Understanding this law not only helps us to enhance our relationships and communities, but also to see our place in the grand scheme of things. Now, let's move on to our next law, the law of abundance. But first, let's understand what abundance really means in the context of RL flow. Often when we think of abundance, we think of material wealth or resources. But in the grand scheme of the universe, abundance goes beyond the physical. It's about an overflow of all things positive: love, joy, creativity, health, and yes, wealth too. Understanding abundance from the perspective of RL flow allows us to tap into the universal supply of these positive elements. It's about aligning our personal energy with the energy of the universe. In essence, the law of abundance tells us that there is enough for everyone. The universe is constantly expanding, creating more and more. When we align with this energy, we open ourselves up to receiving this abundance in our own lives. So how do we quantify abundance? How do we translate this concept into something tangible? Here's where our formula comes in. Abundance equals RL flow plus the product of gratitude and appreciation. But what does this really mean? Gratitude is about acknowledging and being thankful for what we have. It's about recognizing the good in our lives and showing appreciation for it. And appreciation, in turn, is about valuing these blessings and truly understanding their worth. So, in essence, the law of abundance tells us that our level of abundance is directly proportional to the amount of RL flow we can channel, multiplied by our capacity for gratitude and appreciation. A truly abundant life, then, involves not just receiving, but also recognizing and valuing what we receive. So now that we have a grasp on the law of abundance, let's take a look at how it can be applied in our everyday lives. Starting with personal finance, the law of abundance might seem counterintuitive. It's not about hoarding wealth or constantly striving for more. Instead, it's about recognizing the wealth you already have and expressing gratitude for it. This mindset shift can lead to a healthier relationship with money and even open up new opportunities. Now let's talk about happiness. True happiness isn't about constant pleasure or avoiding pain. It's about acknowledging the full spectrum of human experience with gratitude and appreciation. By applying the law of abundance, we can cultivate a deeper, more resilient form of happiness. Lastly, in terms of achieving a fulfilling life, the law of abundance reminds us that fulfillment doesn't come from external accomplishments or possessions. It comes from an inner sense of abundance, a recognition of the RL flow in our lives, and a deep appreciation for the experiences and relationships that truly enrich us. And that's the law of abundance for you. It's more than just a concept. It's a way of life that can lead to profound shifts in our understanding of wealth, happiness, and fulfillment. Let's now move on to another intriguing law, the law of reflection. Unlike the reflection we commonly think of, like seeing our image in a mirror, the law of reflection in the context of RL flow holds a deeper and more profound meaning. In the realm of RL flow, reflection isn't just about physical mirroring. Instead, it speaks to the idea that our external realities are a reflection of our internal states, our thoughts, beliefs, emotions, and intentions. In essence, what we manifest in our lives is a direct reflection of what's going on within us. So, when we talk about the law of reflection, we're really talking about the power of our internal world to shape our external reality. It's a reminder that if we want to change our circumstances, we need to start by changing ourselves from the inside out. Now let's break down the formula for the law of reflection. It's quite simple, yet profound. Reflection equals RL flow. RL flow represents the energy and consciousness flow that we've been talking about. Introspection, on the other hand, represents our capacity to look inward and examine our thoughts, feelings, beliefs, and intentions. Finally, Perception represents how we view and interpret the world around us. Our perceptions can often shape our reality, which is why it's so critical to this formula. So, in essence, the law of reflection tells us that our reality, or what we perceive to be our reality, is a product of the RL flow, our introspective insights, and our perception of the world. This formula reinforces the idea that we have the power to shape and influence our realities by adjusting our inner state and altering our perceptions. The law of reflection, as you might imagine, has profound applications in our personal lives. In the realm of self-awareness, this law encourages us to constantly reflect on our thoughts, feelings, and actions. By doing so, we become more attuned to our own needs and desires, as well as our strengths and weaknesses. This heightened awareness allows us to make more informed decisions, cultivate healthier relationships, and ultimately lead more fulfilling lives. In terms of emotional intelligence, the law of reflection helps us understand our emotions and how they influence our behavior. It teaches us to look inward and recognize our emotional triggers, allowing us to respond rather than react to challenging situations. This understanding not only improves our relationships with others, but also our relationship with ourselves. Finally, in the context of personal development, the law of reflection provides a framework for continuous growth and improvement. By regularly reflecting on our experiences and perceptions, we can identify areas for improvement and take actionable steps towards achieving our goals. In conclusion, the law of reflection is a powerful tool for self-discovery, emotional management, and personal growth. So take some time to reflect and see how this law is already at work in your life. Wow, we've covered quite a bit of ground today, folks. I hope this deep dive into the laws of RL flow has given you a new perspective and greater understanding of the nature of reality. We began with the law of harmonic resonance, showing us how frequencies interact within the RL flow. Then, we explored the law of equilibrium, detailing how balance is achieved. From there, we examined the law of consciousness, the law of harmony, and the law of correspondence, each revealing different facets of our relationship with the universe and ourselves. We went on to discuss the law of polarity and the law of rhythm, giving us insight into the nature of opposites and cycles in our lives. And then, we moved on to the law of evolution and the law of synchronicity, highlighting the progression and meaningful coincidences that guide our journey. We also delved into the laws of transformation, creativity, balance, attraction, connection, abundance, and reflection, each one an essential part of the RL flow, providing us with tools to manifest a fulfilling and harmonious existence. Remember, these laws aren't just abstract concepts, but practical guidelines that can be applied in your daily life. They're interconnected, working together to shape your experience of reality. And by understanding and harnessing these laws, you can align more closely with the RL flow, enhancing your well-being and contributing to the betterment of the world around you. I encourage each and every one of you to not just learn these laws, but to incorporate them into your daily living. Ponder on them. See how they play out in your own experiences. Use them as a lens to perceive the world differently. Just imagine how the law of harmonic resonance might influence the music you create or enjoy, or how the law of consciousness can deepen your meditation or mindfulness practices. Think about how the law of attraction can help manifest your goals, or how the law of reflection can enhance your self-awareness and personal growth. Remember, it's not about mastering these laws overnight. It's about the journey of exploration, growth, and understanding. So take your time and enjoy the process. In our next episode, we'll delve even deeper. We'll explore how to harness the power of RL flow, giving you practical tips and techniques to apply these laws in your everyday life. You won't want to miss it. So if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss out on our next episode. And if you found value in today's episode, give us a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Remember, understanding the RL flow is a journey we're all on together. Thank you for joining us on this exploration of the laws of RL flow. We can't wait to continue this journey with you. Until next time, keep flowing with the universe.